So everybody needed to have different experiences in order to elicit the behaviors that my guru needed from them, in order to generate the books, in order to generate a bridge to pass us through to another time when people might be more interested in these teachings, or even just to get through the current moment, and to do things in a way that resolved different things. I need to remember to look up Tenzin Wangyal again today, because he's like going, why aren't you watching my videos? Honestly, they're kind of soft. I'm afraid you'll hypnotize me, but and he's just like, let me do that. Okay. So anyway, I've been reading one of his books, and I was sending a goddess out through my spleen, through my nose, a spleen goddess out through my nose to go drop crap off in the middle of space. And I was thinking about, see, one of the things my guru said is he never taught me Buddhism. I learned it from some other source. However, he took me to some of those sources, and including some of the relics. And so that was, but I didn't want to abandon what was happening, but I wanted to structure it. My desire to serve other beings. People had gotten really good at saying this is not very structured. I wasn't getting the circumstances in which I could go and learn the type of bond that was structured. And so I studied other things. My guru and I studied the Kun Boom together, because he'd never really gotten enough chances to look at it from his different points of view. He'd been involved with a book club that had studied the Quran in the 1920s or 30s, I think. But most of his personas had not gotten a chance to figure out where it was involved with them. So we were working on that here in Bloomington. And we went through several Ramadans reading the entire thing. And so I also then, after that, I studied shamanism from the point of view of Facebook and YouTube and Wikipedia, and just talking to people in chat. And we worked on, I noticed that, and this is one of the things my guru said, was that there's no primordial shamanism in terms of, it all goes back to Buddhism somehow. We talked about Long Dharma and the Nyingma, that eventually they said to him that they went, you know what, maybe this isn't Buddhism. Nyingma is the school that Pema Chögyam developed, but maybe you can't say that it's strictly Buddhism. So he got, he softened up on it. Whereas other people who said, no, this is a strict Buddhism, they had to run off to Nepal and hide in valleys. So you have the lines between the two. I keep coming back to this, are always very blurry. And so that is, but when you think about the stuff that the hippies were doing and stuff like that, when you talk about how thelema became something that, over 120 years, it became something that is structured. That these people that, for whatever reason, they get kicked out of Buddhism, they come up with their own essential way. And these essential ways get transferred Sometimes they connect with something older. Why is it when I'm forced to abandon all the structure that I learned, I spent a lot of money on it, I said the wrong thing to the wrong person, and now I'm out on my butt, and how can I carry on? And you're forbidden from saying a certain set of things, you can't claim certain things, and yet you have actualized the essence to the point that, what else are you going to do? So sometimes somebody can help you with an alternative vocabulary to just carrying on. Or there might be some differences, but the differences really, I always had trouble. I had to go to college in order to learn how to differentiate in mixed circumstances why this is considered a Buddhist practice or a Nyingma practice or a Shengpa Kagyu practice or something, and why this is a Bon practice. And I never really thought it, my guru didn't want me to think about it in terms of the differences being that significant, and yet they are very significant to other people. How he would do different behavior around different people. And yeah, we got the eyelid swelling problem today, and I think that it's a chemical thing because I've had this before. But I've been like choking and stuff. My throat was really sore yesterday. Anyway, that's a side note. But these videos are actually more about chronicling symptoms than they are about any of the content. I'm just generating the content because it generates viewership. Anyway, sustain this, but these videos help me get out of the hospital without going to Evansville. Because they had access to my phone, and they saw what I had done, and then they saw my writings and stuff like that, which are stored on my phone, and they were like, nah, she's not going to Evansville. One reason, they don't want me talking about this stuff to the people at Evansville, and secondly, I don't need to go. Evansville is a state hospital. But there's a lot of people here that want to put me in hospice, and I'm just like, because they want to build condos in this place. So I have a lot of reason to want to do some of the things. Yesterday when I was thinking about, this phone got adulterated and it won't support a SIM anymore. And so I had to get an AirTalk Lifeline phone to have phone service. And it came yesterday, but it didn't come until it had been opened and somebody had already checked it in and done something or another with it, got some sort of warrant, I'm sure, or got a senator's signature on it. And I was sitting out there trying to think about who it was, and I just there was this continuity coming through these people, and it was a pillar of poop. There was a continuity, just a human centipede. And I was like, okay, we're dealing with Jews. Eventually, by the end of the day, I realized that was their flavor. But I was just sitting there with my eyes half shut, sitting on the porch, wondering what was going on, chanting the Simamuka Akasamaracha Shadarasamaraya Pat mantra, because I was thinking, whatever it is that makes these people feel that it was justified to intercept my phone and mess around with it, I wish they would forget those behaviors, and I wish they would forget whatever supports them to feel confident to do these kinds of things, and just in general, all kinds of behaviors that support them to think that our neighborhood should be served last, that they have a need to understand some of the things that are happening in our lives that are really none of their business because of some factor or another. And so I just kept thinking of Simamuka banging her cymbals, just cutting that off. I lit a candle. I did all kinds of things. And what's the difference between that, Buddhism, Bon? I don't know. But when you think about what Milarepa was doing, I mean, it's everything, and he was really good at understanding the essence of the differences and the similarities. And but when you ask the Buddhas to do it, they have their limitations, they have their structure, they have the vases that they're working from, they have their tools that they're working from, and they stay stable, and it becomes like Lego pieces that other people can work with. And that's one of the reasons why there are structured Bon visualizations as well. The goddess in your spleen, she's represented by an organ that people have, a lot of animals have. It interconnects with a lot of other things. If you visualize some tentacle or something like that we don't have anymore, that would be hard to support by your life form and other people around you.